Basically, what we want to do at this particular point is you have a little bit of an introduction on the Clear phone. Now, what is this phone really about? I mean, why would you want to buy a phone? If you're on this call, here's what I know. You're already on a phone because you had to have a phone to answer for somebody to tell you to get on this link. So what is it about this phone that's so different from yours? It's very simple. It's about what your phone does to you, and it's about what this phone does for you. This phone will give you your life back. And I mean that in every sense of the word. If you've seen the social media, and if you haven't, there's your homework assignment tonight. It's a Netflix special. Go see the social media. If you don't have Netflix, let me tell you, it's worth getting Netflix.
To see the social dilemma.
The social dilemma, rather. I'm sorry. It's worth getting Netflix to see the social dilemma. I think you can get it free for a week, but it's worth getting Netflix just to see that if you have to spend $9 and cancel it. Get it for the month for $9 or whatever it is, and put every human being you know on the planet on that video. Now, when you watch that video and you're ready to jump off a cliff, here's your answer right here. You see, we've been the product for a long time, way too long. It's time that we take ourselves back. We've been marketed. Our information has been data raped for us from everybody, from your bank to Facebook to Google to the apps on your phone. Your data has been stolen from you. And it's been marketed, it's been sold to the highest bidder, and it's time it ends. It's just time it ends. You see, the most valuable thing you have, and the most valuable thing in the world right now, is not oil. It used to be. It's not diamonds. Used to be gold. The most valuable thing on the planet as of a year and a half ago is data. And when you go down and you buy a phone from a cellular provider, Sprint, AT&T, Verizon, whatever, you pay for a phone and you get a pretty good phone. There's no question about it. But what people don't realize is you pay for the phone and you pay for your monthly service, but the phone company makes more money on you and your data sales than they do on the phone and your monthly payment. That's how valuable you are. Now, Google is without question probably the biggest repository of data on this planet. They've got data on everything that lives somehow. Facebook is a lot smaller than Google, but Facebook has about 5,400 to 5,700 data points on every single human being on Facebook. That's huge. But I'm going to tell you a secret that you probably don't realize. Google has 5% of you. Facebook has 5% of you. All the rest of all the information you have about you, what you do, who you are, where you shop, where you go, what your values are, your family, everything about you, they've got 5%. You've got the other 95%. And the question is very simple. Do you want to keep it or do you want to give it away? If you want to keep it, use your phone. You've probably got a great phone. You may have a new Apple phone. You may have a new Samsung phone. You may have a Huawei phone. You may have an Oppo phone. You may have a great phone. And if privacy is not important to you, if getting your life back is not important, okay, then stick with the phone you have because it probably works great for them. It's not working as good for you. Now, if I were to tell you at 2:00 in the morning, while you're fast asleep with your wife in bed, the kids in bed, a group of men dressed in black are going to break into your home about 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. They're not going to wake you because they're not going to have to bust a window to get in. They're not going to have to break down a door. But they're going to come in your home and they're going to go through your desk. They're going to go through your file cabinet. They're going to go through your personal records, your bank records. They're going to get into your safe if they can find a way. Everything you have, they want. When they get done with you, they're going to go into your bedroom And every single piece of private data, a text message, a phone call, a photograph, everything you have that is precious and private to you, they're going to collect. They're going to collect. And then when they get done, they're going to go into your kids' room and they're going to go through your daughter or son's Facebook. Okay. We have a name for Facebook today. It's called a diary. Kids used to write diaries. I said to somebody, people are going to come in and read your kids' diaries. Oh, time out. My kids don't have diaries. Sure they do. It's called Facebook because these kids put everything on Facebook. Their whole life is on Facebook. And these people are going to collect all that information about your children, your wife, you, your whole life. And they're going to leave as quietly as they came. You're never going to see them come. You're never going to see them go. And when they leave, by the way, they're going to watch you day after day after day. Now, if I were to tell you that and you really internalize that and you believe that, you'd be a little upset. People, that's what's going on every single solitary day with every single solitary phone you have. Every phone you have, unless clear is your phone. Now, how did these people break into your house? They didn't wake you. They didn't break a window. They didn't break a door. How'd they break into the house? You gave them the key. Because when you have a regular phone, unless you don't download an app ever on that phone, if you never download an app, you got a dumb phone. I mean, this is like the flip phone of 10 years ago. It'll take a call in, send a call out. That's the only thing it's going to do. But we want convenience. So we download all these apps on our phones. And every one of these apps has a term, condition. You know, you've got to agree to the terms and conditions. And let me tell you about the terms and conditions. I can tell you the terms and conditions of virtually every app in 30 seconds. Print giveth, and the little print taketh away. The big print starts off, how your privacy is so important to this company. We're going to protect your privacy because you and I, man, we're in this together. No, they're not. Because if you read farther down, if you drill farther down into the micro print, it's like 0.6. You got to have a microscope to read the sucker. It says your privacy is so important to you. That's the big print. Here's the little print. However, you give us permission to, you authorize, you agree to, you understand that, and every right you have to privacy is gone that quick. Have you ever noticed how many apps on your phone somehow need to access your camera? Okay, now this is a calendar app. Okay, help me out with this. Why does a calendar app need access to your camera? Why does a calendar app really need access to your microphone? Why does it need access to your contacts? Contacts I can kind of get depending on the situation. But you notice almost every one of these apps, I don't care if it's an app to teach you how to play solitaire online. It needs access to your contacts. It needs access to your email. It needs access to your text messages. It needs access to everything. And what is the reason for that? We never think about these things. I didn't think about these things. The reason for that is these apps are not your friend. They're not designed to make your life more convenient. They do, but at what price? I mean, come on, at what price? These apps are not your friend. These apps are designed to gather information. They are information gathering monsters, and they will gather all the information. And what do they do with that information? They sell it. You're the product. Now, there's only two industries in the world. I'm going to quote from The Social Dilemma. There's only two industries in the world where you're a user. You're an illegal drug user or you're a software user. And both of those are going to exploit you, and both of those will eventually own you. And if this makes no sense, trust me, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm really not. I don't walk around with my tin hat. I don't put Faraday cages, around my brain or anything. Watch The Social Dilemma and you'll get it. And if The Social Dilemma is too much fun for you and you want to watch one more, watch The Great Hack, put together by the same people as The Social Dilemma. So how does this phone work? Well, it starts with your very first experience. Do you have a regular phone, honey, I can borrow?
Yes.
It starts with your first experience. When you go and you get down here, now here's a beautiful, this is an iPhone 11 Pro Max. Gorgeous phone, beautiful phone. But when you go there, let me tell you what happened when you opened your account at Verizon, at T-Mobile. First thing you did, they sat you down and they asked for your driver's license. True or true? Now, you can use your passport. Oh, that's even more fun. But they want your driver's license and they make a copy of it. Then they want a couple of your credit cards. They want you to verify your address. Now, why are they doing that? Because you are now being linked to the US government. So when anybody wants anything you have that ever goes through your phone, which by the way, is your life, all they have to do is go to Verizon and say, we want Angeline Mason's phone records. Oh, no problem. Here you go. We want your bank phone records. Here you go. We want copies of your emails and your text messages. Here you go. Now, by background, I'm a professional network marketer. I've been a 7-figure income earner in many, many companies, and I've done very well. I don't tell you that to brag. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm too old to need the kudos. I really don't care. I tell you that to tell you I know this industry. I know this industry very, very well, the ins and outs. But my background besides that is 2 medical degrees. So at the very least, I can't be too stupid. I graduated. But I was too stupid to realize this is my worst enemy. I was that stupid because it is your worst enemy. When you go, you register with that company and everything else you've just given away. Now let's contrast that to a clear phone. It's a clear, this is 20. It is exactly the same size as this Verizon phone right here. It's the same size as the phone you probably carry, your Samsung, but the magic begins when you open the box. So let's open the box and let's see what we have in here. The first thing you're going to notice is you are going to notice that there is a little sheet here, and you probably aren't going to be able to see this, but it's got 24 words. You're going to need 12. Now, when you get your phone, by the way, it says owner's name right here, owner's name, and it says, do not throw this away, keep for your records. I'm going to go one better than that. Do not write on this. And there's a reason for that, because you want to be able to show someone what this looks like when you get your phone. Now, what else do you get when you get your phone? Well, you get a couple things. You're going to have a SIM chip. You're going to drop your phone if you don't hold it in place. These phones are pretty rugged. You're going to have a SIM chip, and you're going to have a little card on the top that has a little QR code that looks like that. Now, your phone has a unique code. And on the back, by the way, is a place for you to write your 12 words right there. Now, why is that important? And by the way, that same QR code is right here in case you lose the card. You're going to get a SIM chip. You're going to scan this QR code with your actual phone. And it's going to say, are you ready to begin your digital life? And when you understand what this phone does, you'll understand that you are starting over as a sovereign individual for probably the first time in a very long time, if not the first time ever. You are sovereign because you see, you are special. There's nobody like you, and you have a right to your privacy. You don't have a right to secrecy. That's different. We've given that away long ago. But you're endowed by your Creator with the right to your sovereignty, your liberty, your freedom of choice. That's the greatest gift God, or whatever you wish to call him, gives you, is your free agency to choose to be yourself. Except we've given our rights away for convenience. Guess what? We're taking them back now. Huge. So you're going to get a SIM chip. Underneath this SIM chip, interestingly enough, is going to come a Visa or a MasterCard. Now, help me out with this. When was the last time you went to Verizon or Sprint or T-Mobile and they gave you a Visa card when you bought your phone? No, you give them your Visa card to pay for your phone. They don't give you a Visa card. Why would we give you a Visa card? Because when you get this little delight right here, on an average, you're going to refer this phone to at least 3 to 4 people. And when you do that, the company says, why don't we give you a simple way to get paid? Wow. And how do you want to get paid? Do you want to get paid in cryptocurrency? Do you want to get paid in yen? Do you want to get paid in Chinese yuan? How do you want to get paid? Because we're going to pay you in multiple currencies good anywhere around the world. Now, that's important because if you're going to share something, you ought to get paid. Now, if you're on this phone for the first time and you say, well, you know, Scott, I get that you've been a good network marketer, but that's just not me. I'm not a network marketer. I'm going to digress for 1 second and say, on the contrary, au contraire, you've been a network marketer since you were 6. When you learned how to play in that sandbox and share your toys and tell other kids about your new Tonka truck, you're a network marketer. And you've been a network marketer all your life. You go to a movie, you tell your friends about it, you're all excited, you may go see it twice. And they go see the movie. Does Regal Edwards Cinema, AMC, do they send you a check? No? Those rat bastards, they don't do that? We do. When you go to a restaurant, you tell people about it, and they go there. The restaurant doesn't send you a check. Ruth's Chris never sent me a check, and I've sent a lot of people there for their steaks. They've never sent me one check. And it's not that they don't like me. They're busy spending all their money on advertising in magazines, newspapers, television. Sure, we don't do that because the best form of advertising in the world is a happy you, a happy customer. I got a phone. I'm so excited about this phone. I can't see straight. Bob, let me tell you about this thing. This is incredible. That's network marketing, folks. So you're all network marketers. The question is, do you want to be a broke network marketer or a highly paid one? You're already all network marketers. The question is, do you want to get paid? And if you want to get paid, we're going to make it convenient for you. Now, so when you register this phone, you're going to go in here, and this phone is going to give you 12 words. Now, are the 12 words are the only 12 words this phone does? No. I can reset this phone to factory specs 1,000 times, and the hardware and the encryption in this phone is going to give me 12 new words. Now, when you get those 12 words, you want to write those words down. You do not want to lose those words under any circumstance. You lose that word, you lose those words, you lose your digital life. So give a copy to a close friend. Put a copy in a safety deposit box. Give a copy to your ex-wife if you got a great relationship. If you don't, that may not be a good idea. But give a copy to somebody. Just save it. Because if you lose this phone, we had one of our team members was filming while his buddy was driving a speedboat, and they hit the wake of a barge, and his new 620 phone decided to go for a swim in the ocean. It was no big deal. He's going to get a new phone and says, do you want to start a new decentralized ID? Do you want to create a new you, or would you like the old one back? Oh, I'd like everything I have back. No problems. Put in the 12 words. Bingo, it's there. That's called get your life back. Now, phase 1 of this company is get this phone out, empower you, give you your life back again. That's huge. That's big by itself. Phase 2 is we're going to take all the data that you generate. Now, how much data do people generate? On an average, the average individual generates 10 gigabytes of data every hour. Every hour. That's huge. You got a 20 gig phone plan? That's 2 hours and your plan's done for the month. That's how much data exhaust you're putting out. Because you see, everything you do is important. Where you go is important to somebody. Where you shop for gas is important. What stores you walked into, what mall you went to, what you bought in the mall, that is all incredibly valuable to somebody. But the problem is we've never been able to let them monetize that data and have us get paid for it. That's phase 3, coming to a phone near you soon. We've never been able to get paid for our data, but it's ours. I don't have a problem if you know where I go, where I shop, and what I do. Here's what I don't want you to have. I don't want you to have my name. Why is that? It's none of your business, among other things. Just for starters, it's not your business. But if you want to pay me for all my data that I generate, where I shop, what I do, what websites to go to, what I click on, what groceries I buy, what malls I go to, where I buy my gas, where my kids go to school, if you want to buy that data, I have no problems with it, as long as I remain anonymous. As long as you remain anonymous. And you could do that for the first time. Google is the biggest repository of information in the world. The Library of Congress is unquestionably, I believe, the largest library in the world. The Vatican may be close, but I don't think so. How big is the Library of Congress? It's about 170 million books in one place. Now, ask yourself something. Is that a tremendous treasure trove of information? Of course it is. But what if I scrambled all the books and I moved 170 million books and put them on random shelves, and I took away the indexing, the Dewey Decimal System that allows me to say, I want a book on whatever. I want a book on peeling coconuts from the inside. It's there somewhere, but I need that index to be able to get to that book. You see, the value in Google is not the information, because if they can't index the information, it is useless. It's the Library of Congress 1,000 times over, completely and utterly useless. They can't sell you anymore. So the value to Google is not your information, it's the ability to index your information so that when somebody comes and says, I need information on a person that's this height, this weight, this, that shops this, that does this, that's this ethnicity, he's Hispanic, he's Black, he's Caucasian, whatever the case may be, I want to buy that information. Google goes, woo, Caucasian, ugly, skinny, tall dude, sounds like Scott. Ooh, we're going to monetize his profile. I just got sold again. But what if Google couldn't index you anymore? Because you see, with this phone right here, the indexing stops right there. Done. And for the first time, you begin to index your own data. And like I said, if Google has 5%, ladies and gentlemen, you got the other 95%. And if Google's is worth that much, think of what you're worth. I don't have a problem with people knowing my information as long as they don't know it's me. You know, there's a billion cat pictures on the internet. I don't care if one of them's mine, as long as you don't know I took that stupid picture. That's what this is all about. Now, there's two types of people in this world that own cell phones. There's two types of people in this world that own bank accounts. There's two types of people in this world that have any type of private information. And let me tell you what they are. Those that have been hacked and those that are about to be hacked. You think I'm kidding? Your bank's been hacked. If you bank with PNC, Public Trust, Community, used to be Security Pacific, they're out of business, they get hacked too many times, okay? Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all these banks have been hacked. Now, here's my question. Who's more secure? Your bank or your phone? Well, your bank is. Now, let me tell you how secure you really are. When we talk about the internet, we talk about this little thing up here that we can see. That's the internet that we deal with. Well, I've also coded computers. I attend the Black Hat Hacking Conference. I attend several of the other hacking conferences. And there's a part of the internet that you don't see. And if I'm going to use this as a guideline, this is the internet that you deal with right here. This little area right here. This is the internet that you don't see. It's called the dark web. Now, is the dark web bad? Parts of it are. You can go on the dark web. You can buy yourself a 13-year-old child. You can buy yourself a 12-year-old boy. You can buy drugs. You can buy guns. You can buy a lost rocket. You can buy a used Russian tank. But let me tell you what else I can buy. I can buy all your credit card information. And the odds are, if you're on this call, I'll bet you that 70% of you people on this call already have your credit card information for sale. Oh yeah, it's there. Let me tell you what it costs to buy your credit card information. It costs $1 to $1.25 if I just want your credit card with the number on the front. That's your public key. Remember that word, public key, and your 3-digit code on the back, or 4 digits if it's American Express. That's your private key. Now, in a perfect world, people would only have your public key and they'd never have your private key. Why would they need it? With every credit card transaction we have, with every banking transaction we have, we give them access to our bank account, our private key that opens the vault for them, and our public key. When this phone generates a set of keys, it generates a private master key. And it takes every other account you have and takes your public keys and it sucks them back again and generates private keys just for every single account. These private keys can be 40 alphanumeric digits in a row. You'd spend the next 5 lifetimes trying to figure out how to get into your account. Now, I don't know about you, but call me stupid, but you cannot believe how, if I had $100 for every hour I've spent trying to recover passwords, I could go to dinner at Chris for a month at a row. Okay, now maybe I'm just unusual. Maybe you guys don't have that problem. I do. I'm always forgetting passwords. And then you got to go change them, and then you can't remember the new one. And guess what? You're back to square one again. This phone solves that because it takes everything that's private and gives it back to you. Now, let's talk about network marketing. We've got some Teresas on this call probably, and I'm sure you're not Mother Teresa. So you're on this call because you probably heard there's a great phone, you're excited about it, but more importantly than that, I suspect some of us would like to make some money. So let's talk about network marketing just real quick. What's the goal in network marketing? In a perfect world, we have a perfect product. So what's a perfect product? A product that everybody has, everybody needs, and they can't live without, okay? I'm going to submit to you, this is your perfect product. And if you think it's not, when you leave in the morning, I'll promise you, I don't even know where you are or where you're going to, but you will have 2 things in your hand when you leave. Your car keys, because you're not getting in your car and going anywhere without your car keys, and you will have your cell phone. A gentleman can forget his wallet. A lady can forget her clutch. But you're not going to forget your cell phone generally, and you're not going to forget your car keys. Now, if you leave your cell phone somewhere, or you forget your cell phone, how many of you have forgotten your cell phone and you went, oh, really bad move, and you get it, you do a U-turn, you go back and get it. But I want you to think about something. Let's assume you accidentally leave your cell phone somewhere. Okay? In theory, it's locked. I get that. But I want you to think about something for a minute and just consider this. And I'll speak for me. When I leave my cell phone, I can leave it at a place where I know my cell phone is safe. I know the owner of the company. Okay, he says he's going to put it in his desk drawer. So here's my question. If mentally I know that my phone is safe, why is it I'm so bothered minute by minute by minute that it's not with me? Is it that I can't afford to go get another phone? No. If only when you lost your phone, if the only thing you lost was the physical device, you can replace that. But when you lose your phone today, you lose your life. So why is it I'm so concerned? And you guys need to think about this. You're concerned at a visceral level. I'm uncomfortable. I don't have my phone. My brain says it's safe. My whole being says this is not working for me. Why is it? Because your most intimate details, your most private life, the things that are most precious to you are on this phone. So how do we define what's on this phone? You can define it in 3 letters. Y-O-U. You, your entire identity is part of this phone. Your children, the pictures you love, your most private things, text messages you would never want anybody to read. I don't care if it's between you and a significant other, you and your wife. Things you cannot replace are on this phone. And instinctively, you don't want to lose it. Well, with a clear phone, you're not going to lose it. So let's talk about another advantage to using a phone. Sonia, where's that other phone? An iPhone? Give me 1 second here.
It's hiding.
We're busy getting organized. Oh, I put it behind.
No?
Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, is this unlocked?
Yes.
Put in a passcode. She's going to put in a passcode here.
Oh.
Okay, now what I'm going to do is I've unlocked this phone. I'm going to take and get on the web. I'm going to go to a website here. I'm going to go on to Google, and I'm going to put in CNN.com. Now, I'm not a big fan of CNN. Tell you a little bit about my politics, perhaps. But I'm going to go to CNN.com, and I'm going to hit go. And presto zingo, there comes CNN, along with all the problems, the ads, the stuff I really don't want to see. It's all there on CNN. Now, I'm going to take a clear phone, and I'm also going to go to CNN. But here's the difference. I'm not going to be able to see this too well, but I'm going to go up and I'm going to go to clear. No, that's going to move too much. Clear web. Okay, and I'm going to go to CNN on clear web. Now, I'm going to get exactly the same thing. Officials are in crisis. Well, newsflash, the whole world's in crisis right now. But there's something on my phone that's not on your phone. And I don't know if you can see it in color or not, but you see that little purple circle and that little green thing there? I'm going to touch the little purple circle. And I want you to see what comes up. You see that number 48 and that number 1? That is 48 trackers, hackers, malware, advertisers, keystroke loggers, porn sites. Yeah, porn sites are attached to CNN, folks. Surprise. Those are 48 things that did not load on my phone, or 44 things. I'm sorry, it's up to 45. It's up to 45. Now, at night, depending on the website you go to, this number can hit 70. Okay, so I've got 45 things that attempted to own me, to sell me, to market me, to break into my world that did not occur on this phone, that did occur on this phone. Here's my question. Are you okay with that? If you're not okay with it, here's your answer right here. Here's your answer. Now, the interesting thing is, if I take my computer, and I saw this done the first time, and I thought, this is too weird for me. I went on, and there's a way to get on there and find out what these 44 some programs are. Oh, by the way, it's not 44 anymore. It's 46. It's going up. We'll talk a little bit. It'll hit 60. And I was surprised to find that 3 or 4 of them were, I'll be gracious, adult content sites, porn sites. What? What is a porn site coming in with CNN? Is it coming from CNN? No. It's attaching to CNN because CNN is fairly innocuous. If you don't like CNN, attach it to Fox News. It goes in there too. So why are porn sites showing up on your phone? It's for your kids. It's for your son or your daughter who borrows your phone. It's for you, perhaps, when you just made a mistake. You looked at something out of curiosity you shouldn't have looked at. Wow. My 19-year-old has a phone of his own. My 18-year-old daughter's got a phone, her 17-year-old daughter. She goes on here, and all of a sudden here flashes an image that she's never seen before. Wow, startling, but curious. So you press the button, and in 7 seconds, on an average, that site loads what's called a keystroke logger. A keystroke logger. Now, what does a keystroke logger do? A keystroke logger does exactly that. It logs and transmits from your phone back to whoever put this little gem in your phone everything you do. When you type in an email, what's the next thing after your email? Oh, your password. When you go online to your bank, what's the next thing? Your password. When you go online to your money market account, your password. When you go online to your genealogy account, your password. I don't care if you log on to your yoga account, your password comes next. These passwords are valuable. They're for sale on the dark web. How hard are they to get it? You probably got it being sold 2 or 3 times already. And if your credit card hasn't been hacked, okay, give it time. People buy these passwords 1,000 at a time, 5,000 at a time, 10,000 at a time. You're going to be next. So why do we buy this phone? Because it gives you your life back. And you're important. Now, the other thing we buy this phone is you can buy one phone for a parent, like a 420 or a 620. You can buy 220s for your kids. I can take the phone that I'm going to give my son or my daughter or my teen, I can lay it up next to my phone, press a button, and I will know what the child is able to see. I don't want the kid going to drug sites. He doesn't need to be going to gambling sites. He doesn't need to be going to porn sites. There's all kinds of things I just don't need him to see. Now, fortunately, the phone doesn't come up and says, you know, your dad's a killjoy sport. You can't go to that site you really want to go to. It just says that site is no longer available, period. Do you ever have a problem trying to get your kids' attention at dinner? What about if you had 5 kids and when you sat down for dinner, pressed a button on your phone, their phones didn't work anymore? Oops. That's called family home evening, whether you're Latter-day Saint or not. What about when it's bedtime and you tell the kids, okay, no more phones, and your 17-year-old wakes up the next morning with bags under his or her eyes because she's been texting all night under the covers in the dark till 3 o'clock in the morning, and she's got no energy left for school. What about if the phone didn't turn on in the middle of the night? Wow. Gives you some control back. So life is about choices. Sovereignty is about choices. This phone is about choices. You have the ultimate network marketing product here. Everybody has a phone. It's just, do they have a phone that's doing something to them, or do they have a phone that's doing a whole lot for them? That's the difference. Phone plan's very simple. $40 a month, unlimited talk, text, and data on any one of the 3 phones. What's it cost? A 220 is $50 a month. That includes unlimited talk, text, data, and the phone. $50 a month, not bad. The 420 is what most people will buy. The 420 is basically the same size as any other Apple phone. Here's a 420 right here, not in a case. And here is there's an Apple. Here's a brand new Apple iPhone Pro Max. They're basically exactly the same size as the phone you have right now. The 620 is a bigger phone. It's got more real estate. If you got tired eyes or you want to do a visual presentation on a phone or maybe an AO scan, An AO scan is really cool on a 620, really cool on a 620, because you got a lot more screen real estate. But these phones can be purchased outright, $99 for a 420. But the 220, which is the baby, has unlimited talk, text, and data. It's $40. On the 420 and the 620, it's $70 a month. But you have talk, text, data, a physician 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 30 days out of the month. What happens when that kid gets sick in the middle of the night? Do I take him to the emergency room? If so, I just paid my phone bill for 7 to 9 months on a good day. If I don't happen to have a car and I'm a single mom and the kid's really sick and I think it needs an ambulance, I just paid your phone bill for 4 years. But there's a doctor there. These phones are capable of doing a body scan. They'll tell you your heart rate, your breaths, your oxygen content going to the brain, your pulse, the specific oxygen uptake from your lungs going into your head. Why is that important? That starts to drop. You got problems with Alzheimer's, dementia, and all kinds of other things that we can't legally talk about because we're not doctors cure. Well, I am. Doctors curing disease. It does things no other phone does. And that program's included free in all the phones, including the 220. Why is that? Because we believe you should own your own health. You should own your own data. And if you want to monetize that health data, you can do that too. And it's anonymous. So the 620 and the 420, they're $70 a month. The 420 is $99 total, $70 a month, and $30 goes to buy you a $900 phone. The 620 is an $1,100 phone. $1,100 phone. It'll run circles around anything else out there. The processor in most phones is a 4-core processor. Processors in these are an 8. Processors in most phones are a 30 to 40 megapixel camera. The base camera in here, there's 4 in a 620. The base camera is 42. Stitched together, it doesn't take one picture. In most phones, you've got an option of, I take a long range picture, I could take a close-up picture, I can take a wide angle picture. Pick any one you want. How about if we took all of them all at once and we stitched it together with the most powerful processors in the world, and they gave you a 108 megapixel photograph? Wow, that's pretty cool. That's a clear phone. That's a clear phone. Battery life, better than any in the industry. And let's talk about battery life for 1 second. And I don't want to run this call long, but let's talk about battery life for 1 second. Do you know that 30 to 35% of your battery life is loading those 45 to 70 sites in the background that you don't see, that are trying to bust into your life, break into your phone, target you with advertising, collect and sell your data? That's 30 to 35% of the battery life on your phone. So if you want to know why your battery dies so quickly, that's why. You don't get permission for these people to do that. They do it anyway. They do it anyway. So your battery lasts longer. You don't have to charge it as often. Clear phones are phenomenal. So let's talk about buying a phone. You go out and you buy an iPhone. And when you buy the iPhone, what's the first thing you did when you bought this $1,000, $1,100 phone? Well, most people that have an IQ between avocado and tomato, they're buying a case before they leave. Why? Because I can't afford to drop this thing. It's $1,000. I may pay for it over 24 months, but it's still $1,000. So we're going to put a case on. Every clear phone comes with a case. Wow, that's kind of neat. What's the second thing you're going to buy? You're probably going to buy a rapid charger, because a lot of phones don't come with a rapid charger. Now, if you're into spending 7 to 9 hours charge your phone, don't buy it. This comes with a rapid charger. It comes with a case. Third thing is, comes with a really good set of headphones. Fourth thing is, it comes with insurance. It's in your plan. And it's not $14 to $16 a month for the insurance. So when you break your iPhone, it can cost you $326 as a copay. Don't ask me how I know that. And then they're going to send you your new refurbished phone overnight. I didn't buy a used phone. I don't want it. I don't want a used phone. I don't want a used phone back. If you should break a clear phone, and please don't all go out and test the model. We really don't want to do that right up front. If you break a clear phone, you let them know there is no copay. They just give you a new phone. It's not a refurbished phone. You don't deserve a refurbished phone. That phone's your life. You need a new phone. Now, when you buy your Apple phone, and 2 years down the road, the latest Apple phone comes up. Today it's an iPhone 12, I think it is. And so 2 years down the road, it's a 14.75 or whatever it is, your supercalifragilistic phone. The technology changes. Technology is evolving at the speed of light. The phone 2 years down the road is going to be a whole different experience than it is now. So walk into your Apple store 2 years later, say, I got my old phone here. This is my iPhone 12. I remember when I bought this in 2020, it's now 22. The new phones make yogurt for you. They pop your toast. They control your bath temperature, whatever they're going to do by then. And you got to have this new phone. Walk into Apple and say, I want a new phone. And they go, oh, that's great. How would you like to pay for it? Try telling them, I'd like it free. Well, what do you mean free? I mean free. That means I don't spend any more money on a phone. When they get done laughing at you, you'll appreciate the fact that when you've been on a clear phone for 2 years, with the safest phone, best arrangement you're ever going to have, at the end of 2 years, a FedEx box is going to arrive at your house, and you're going to open that box, and it's going to have a brand new phone, free. Now, if you think $70 a month is expensive, take the $70 a month, take the current cost of a $620, $1,009, divide that 24 months. I think it's going to come out about $46 and change a month, if I'm correct. Subtract that off 70 and show me a phone plan that for about $26 a month gives you unlimited talk, text, data, 3 doctors, a prescription drug plan, and warranty. Now, real briefly, because I know that the mind can only absorb what the butt can endure. And I'm trying to cut this short, people, but you really need to know this, especially for those that are going to market this phone. Why do I have 3 doctors on my cell phone? I don't get sick. I don't need a doctor. Why do I want to pay $30 a month for a doctor? How about the single lady down the road that's got 3 kids? One of them has a chronic problem. Does she need a doctor? You can't sell something you can't show. And when you can press a button, when you realize that you can get a physician 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 30 days out of the month. And by the way, no copay, free. How do we do that? We buy the company that all of the doctors work for that cover all 50 states across the United States. We don't subcontract with them. We bought them for this and for you. Number 1, you need a doctor. What's the second most required specialty? A dermatologist. Really? Yeah. I burn myself. My baby's got this rash. There's red spots appearing. I got these bumps appearing on me where socially no bumps should ever appear. I burned something. I've got sunburn. My child's got this thing that's spreading all over the place. First as a doctor, second as a dermatologist. What's number 3 on this phone? There are 3 specialties on this phone, 3 physicians on this phone included in your plan, all with no copay, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 30 days out of the month. What's number 3? A therapist. Really? Do you think we need a therapist? When you get done, call up your nearest suicide hotline and ask them what's going on with teens. Ask them what's going on with the elderly. Do you know what COVID has done with people? COVID's been a blessing for network marketing, but it's been a nightmare in other areas. You got a guy that's had a business 30 years and he's about to lose it. He's going under and he doesn't even know how to tell his wife. He doesn't begin to know how to tell his wife. He's terrified. Good to have somebody to talk to. You've got kids that are cutting themselves. They're becoming alcoholics. They're getting addicted to drugs because they're scared, they're frightened. And when this kid commits suicide, let me tell you what every parent hears, what every parent says, almost without exception. I had no idea this was coming. I didn't see it coming. When a child gets addicted to drugs, the parent doesn't see them coming. This is a child that's 17 or 18. It's a young girl. Her name is Taylor. She's by the side of the road with a heroin addiction. Nobody knows where she's at. Nobody knows whether she's dead or alive. How important would it have been for her to be able to reach somebody on a phone and say, I'm in trouble here. And for whatever reason, I can't talk to mom and dad. And somebody gets on the phone and says, Taylor, sweetheart, we can work this out. How critical is that? Taylor was my daughter. Ask me if this phone has value. That's your third specialty. Your fourth is prescription drugs. Let's see if we can't get you 80% off what you'd pay on a good day. All included in a plan with a Visa card. Set up for you to make money, get your life back, safely store your data, and eventually monetize it next year. That's what you're selling. Is that a good product? I think it's a life-changing product. The world is going the wrong direction, people. It's time we start to reverse it. And it starts with you, everyone on this phone. And as many people as you can get off the current bandwagon as fast as you get them off. Because everybody deserves to be free. You've got the ultimate product. You want to talk about residual income? When they buy a phone and they buy that phone over 24 months, you get a payment every single month for 2 years. How many of you have been in a company on auto ship? The DSA, the Direct Selling Association, says the average auto ship length is between 2.9 months and 3.6 months, and they quit. How many of you have quit your cell phone in the last decade? How many of you have stopped and said, I'm not going to have a cell phone. I'm not going to pay my cell phone bill anymore at all? None of you. That's the ultimate residual income right there. And the good news is if you finance the phone, you get paid the whole thing all at once. Now, let me give you a perspective that's a little bit different. And I'm going to show you something real quick here. And you're going to love this. Here's a Hewlett-Packard calculator on my phone. If I finance a 620, I get about $275.50. I'm paid through 7 levels. 10 and 10 on the first 2, 5 and 5 on 3 and 4, and 1, 1, 1 on 5, 6, and 7. Well, 1's not much. Really? That's your biggest growth. I'll take the 1% on level 5 all day long over the 10% on level 1. And if you understand network marketing, you already get this. But you want to talk about income, follow and track with me on this. That's the cost you get up front on one phone financed through Bread, right in your back office. What about if your entire organization did 5 of those somewhere in 2,000 people or 1,000 or 10,000, whatever you got, 500. What if you did 5 in a day? That's what you made for the day. What does that amount to per month? I don't know. I can live on a $41,352 a month. I'm sorry, $41,325 a month. I can also live on $500,000 a year. That's 5 finance phones in a day. Can you get there? Yeah, real quickly, because everybody needs a phone. Anyway, I've carried you guys long. I apologize for that. I try not to do this. And I apologize for the emotion. Some things hit close to home. But the phone is important. This is, it's a network marketing opportunity, be sure. But at the end of the day, this is a mission. This is about, honestly, we hear this all the time. I'm going to change the world. Okay, it's so esoteric. It sounds so beautiful. We all want to be a part of something bigger. But how do we do that? This is changing the world. You're giving a human being back their dignity, their privacy, their autonomy, their safety, and the safety of their family and kids. That's changing the world in my world. Hopefully it's changing the world in yours. So anyway, this is done. I haven't answered a lot of questions in this thing. Is the phone running on the blockchain, unlimited coverage? We'll cover that. Does it include international coverage? T-Mobile has international coverage almost everywhere you can go. And by the way, if all the cellular networks in the world go down, this phone will still function because every single cellular function on this phone operates on Wi-Fi. As long as you get a Wi-Fi connection, you're good. You're welcome for sharing. Can you transfer your current numbers? Absolutely. Oh, and by the way, if I open this phone and I take out my little SIM tray, surprise, there's a place for a SIM chip. Well, every phone has that. There's a place for a second SIM chip at the same time. Nobody has that. And there's a place for an SD card so you can upgrade the memory. So when you get this phone, you're going to get a SIM chip. It's going to have a T-Mobile SIM card, just like this. You're going to pop that little SIM card out, put it in your phone. If you already have an existing number, take out the little SIM tray, put your existing number with Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, they'll all work. This is an unlocked phone, all 5 bands, every country on earth. This phone will work as long as they follow the universal bands, and almost every major country does. Even some minor countries do. But you can take your SIM card out, put your primary number that you're using in Verizon right now in SIM chip 1. Boom, this phone is operational and your safety starts right then. You don't even have to port the number. You can stay with Verizon if you need to. You can take the second number that you get when you buy the phone. You're going to have a SIM chip. You can take that second number and you can put it in slot 2. But if you want to take your primary number and port it over to the phone, that can be done in 10 minutes. And if you don't know how to do that, customer service will help you. And by the way, if you're a complete geek and you don't know how to do anything on a phone except send an email and turn it on and off, we have the ability to customer service if need be. Hopefully we don't have to. If need be, they can take control of this entire phone temporarily and they can set it up for you. Don't abuse that privilege. If we can do this on our own, let's do it because we want to save that resource. So it is international. You can use an international plan. This phone is currently being sold all over the world. We're not open in any country right now but the US, but that's okay because that limits us to about 370 million potential customers, because unless they got a clear phone, they're already a potential customer. And by the way, I don't care what network marketing company they're in. If they're talking to you about their business, they're talking to you on a phone. Just give them a different option. It's perfect. So you have unlimited residual income. And by the way, when you port your number over, according to the FCC, the average individual that ports a number over keeps that service 14 years and 2 months. Now, here's my question for all of you. How many of you have gotten 14 years and 2 months worth of ongoing, never miss, continuous residual income in anything you've ever done in your entire history of network marketing? Wow. That's the ultimate residual income right there. So you got everything going for you. Run with it. Now, you guys are part of a beta group. What does that mean? That means we're working stuff out. Okay, you're the first people to get this phone. Now, are we a new company? No. Do we understand phones? Yes. Do we understand operating systems and technology? This company and the operating system ClearOS is operating on about 80% of the Fortune 100 companies out there. All the Hewlett-Packard servers run on this system. Hewlett-Packard's printer division, the biggest printer division in the world, was given to Hewlett-Packard, and it's running on the Clear iOS server. You can go down to Best Buy, buy that box that holds all those big hard drives. It's running on Clear OS. Does the guy that owns this company, does he understand what he's doing? Absolutely. He also understands health. Every healthcare transaction in the entire state of Utah and 5 other states went through this man, this one man that owns this company, and his operating systems and his servers and his technology to keep all of this safe. Is he qualified to build a phone? I think so. I think so. He's eminently qualified. Now, customer service right now is a mess. Now, I'm not supposed to tell you that. But it's, when I say it's a mess, you guys have created a problem, and it's a great problem. We're growing so fast, we can't scale fast enough to get what we want to do.
So does number 8, 24-24 on a Thursday in Vegas.
There we go. Anyway, somebody's got a phone that needs to go on mute. So customer service, we're scaling up as fast as we can. But there's a button on your phone. It says Clear Care. If you don't know what you're doing, press the button. It'll bring up a chat box. Type, I'm dumber than grass and greener than dirt. I don't know what I'm doing with this phone to set up my new contacts or import my stuff. We'll get somebody on the phone. We'll get it solved for you. Is it going to be in 2 minutes? No, you may have to wait 20 minutes on the phone to get someone. But who does that? Now, you can go down to Verizon for any technical problem you have with this phone. You can go down to Verizon, you can go to Sprint, you can go to T-Mobile. This is an Android-based phone. Our entire software secure layer is on top of it. If you have a phone problem, it's probably a phone problem that T-Mobile can already solve at your local T-Mobile office. You don't even need us. If it's an iPhone, you're going to need to, go to somebody at T-Mobile, whoever got your service you're right from, and get some help, or we can help you as well. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for allowing me to be on your call and bore you this long. Is the phone running on the blockchain? No, the phone is not running on the blockchain. What the phone does, it takes all the data and puts the data on the blockchain, your photographs on the blockchain, your information on the blockchain through a thing we call sharding. Now, what is sharding? If I'm in my car, I don't put on my seatbelt, and I slam into the back of a car, and my head proceeds to go through the window, the glass breaks in little tiny round beads called safety glass, ideally designed to not slice me to bits. If I take a beautiful wine glass and I drop it on concrete, it doesn't break in little tiny uniform pieces. It breaks in little tiny slivers of glass, little shards of glass, and I don't care who you are not putting that wine glass back together again. It's not happening. We take your information, that picture you took that's supposed to be private that you're sending to someone. Okay? Doesn't have to be explicit. You just don't want to share it. It's the equivalent of taking that picture, running it through a cross-cut shredder till the picture that was this big is in little tiny pieces this big, and then we're going to send the picture to 230 countries around the world and 350,000 people running servers in those countries that don't know you, that don't care, that are running those servers for other reasons, and we're going to break that picture up. Nobody's going to get that picture. If I reach into a wallet and I take out a bill, and I don't want you to take this from me. It's real easy if it's in one piece. Just yank it out of my hands. Somebody bigger and stronger that wants to use force. I don't know, could be a government agency with 3 letters. I don't know, who knows? But if I take this bill and I break it into 100, I don't even have a one, 100 $1 bills, and I give the $100 bills to 100 friends, how hard is it for you to get my $100? It becomes impossible. And if you want to really have fun, break the $100 bill into pennies, go distribute those all over the world. And when somebody says, I'm going to take your money or your data or your text or your photographs or your emails, and I'm going to take them, just laugh. Enjoy yourself. I want your money. What's it like to want? Well, I really wish you'd cooperate with us and give us all your records. Well, if wishes were fishes, we could get together and have a fry. That's not happening either. So when somebody goes to Clear and says, I want all your records, I want all your data, I want all your information, Clear says, wish we could help, but we don't have it. We don't actually for sure know if Scott even owns this phone. Well, how do I get the data? Well, you got to find out, A, if he owns the phone, because we don't have a copy of his driver's license or any of the stuff that says he owns the phone. He bought it, but I could buy this phone for Jeffrey Dahmer. He's not a nice guy. He eats his neighbors, but I could buy the phone for him. Or I could buy the phone for Edward Snowden. But all they know is without your password and without those 12 words, your life is always going to be secure and nobody is going to take it back from you. Because I've sent it all over the world, but I can gather it back just as quickly, instantly. That's what this is all about. Okay, do you have to use T-Mobile? No. You can buy this phone. You can put your Verizon SIM chip in here, your AT&T SIM chip, and it's going to work. Now, there's a lot of functions on this phone that are special to this phone that you're probably going to want to have, but all your basic privacy functions, no. Do you have to use T-Mobile? No. Let's see what else we got. U.S. only rates for international. We're running on the last 4 rails of T-Mobile. What we're working on is international coverage right now. Went through with my granddaughter last night. Grandson, powerful service coverage area. T-Mobile has bought, they've bought Echo, they've bought Sprint now. T-Mobile's part of Deutsche Telekom, which is the biggest telephone company in the world right now. If you've had problems with T-Mobile in the past, here's what I'm going to tell you. The T-Mobile of 4 years ago is not the T-Mobile of today. You're in beta. You're ahead of the wave. I don't care if you're on a surfboard. I don't care if you're in a kayak, a birch bark canoe, or a Hatteras yacht. That financial wave is coming in starting in February. And when the wave comes in, when the financial tide comes in, all boats rise, but you got to have a boat in the water. But the good news is, I don't care if you got 2 people in your organization. You want 3, by the way. You know why you want 3? Because if you get 3 people, you get to participate in a 7% bonus pool of everything the whole company makes worldwide. And by the way, when was the last time you ever got into a presidential bonus pool or a bonus pool at the highest levels with whatever you've done? Now, for the first time, everybody can win. And that's what this is all about. This company operates on a profit margin that's less than what Apple's managed to do. And we're taking over things. Your Facebook can now be imported to this phone, and we've already done it. We did it 3 days ago with a push of a button. We've imported 10 years of Facebook into this phone. It's called Clear Community, and you can join Clear Community. What is Clear Community? Facebook without all the hate, without all the ugly, where you control your content, where you can monetize your content. You can join Clear Community right now. Now, can you monetize your content and get paid for it? No. That's about 1.5 years away, but it's on its way. So anyway, that's that. Man, I don't even want to know what time it is. I'm so sorry. This is ugly.
Can I make a correction?
You can.
You said this is the only phone that holds 2 SIM chips. There are other phones that hold 2.
My wife brought up something. There are other phones that hold 2 SIM chips. But one of the things I think you're going to find unique to this phone, and if I can hold this up here, and I don't have 2 SIM chips in this particular phone.
I think I do.
She may have 2 SIM chips in hers. Normally, it'll say we have 2 SIM chips, and you'll see 1 bar for antenna strength, 1 bar for
only one on
whatever your provider is with. When you put your second SIM chip in this phone, you will see 2 antenna symbols, 2 provider symbols, 2 secure symbols. We're not jamming phone numbers through one processor, which is the problem a lot of people had before. This phone is uber fast. It'll compete with anything on the market. Screen, battery, camera, whatever. So if you want to compare phones, compare all day. I will tear you up with this phone. I don't care what you have. And I will tear you up for the foreseeable future. But that's not why you're buying this. Get your life back. Talk to people around you. See, are you really happy with where this whole thing's going? Are you happy with the way government's impacting you? Are you happy with what's going on with your information? Are you happy with the fact you're being targeted, marketed everywhere you go? You're being sold. You're the product. Are you happy with that? No. Now, if you want to know what I did to build the organization I'm building, I send out a text message. Dear Bob, dear Mary, found something you absolutely have to see. Critical! Exclamation point. I'm sending you a link to 4 videos. They will take you 8 minutes to watch all 4. These videos will change your life, period. In bold, these videos will give you your life back, exclamation point. You will have questions. Call me when you're done. I can send that to I don't care if you've been in my contact list and I haven't talked to you for 10 years. If you are important to me as a human being, you're important enough to send that message to. Now, what about if they never get back? Okay, wow, let's see. If this guy didn't get back, that only left me 369,999,000 more people to talk to, 80% of which have phones. This is not whoopee juice. This is not pills, potions, and lotions. I don't care what network marketing company you want to talk about. They all have to have a phone. It is not a conflict with anything. Why do we give this phone and this technology out as quickly as we do, the way we do, at the price we do? For your safety. The quicker we can spread the phones, internationally as well, there's going to come a tipping point. Nobody can ever take it away from you. Ever. I don't care who it is. Not a government, nobody. That's what this is all about. So with that, God bless. Good night. Thanks so much